So Google have just announced another great feature of Google Classroom. This will enable you to access Google Classroom with your personal account. So let me show you what you need to do in the admin console in order to set this up, because by default it's actually off. So this is the admin console. You go into Apps, you go into G Suite, and then you click on Classroom. Now there's a setting called Class Settings, so you click on Class Settings, and then you scroll down, and then you've got here about your class membership. So there's various different options here. At the moment, it's set to where users from my own domain can only access the classrooms. The second option is where users that are whitelisted. Now you can configure your whitelists here, and that means you can invite different institution domains in order to access the classroom. This next option is any G Suite for Education user. So that basically means any school that's using G Suite for Education can actually access the classroom. And finally, which we're going to select, this is any user can actually access Google Classroom, the classrooms that you set up within your domain. So this means personal accounts, etc. This section is for others outside of the domain to access your domain, and this is whether you're letting users in your domain access other domains. So this option means that the users can only access the classes within your own domain. This means that your users can only access the whitelisted domains that you've put in your whitelisted configuration. And finally, this option here will allow users from your domain access other users in other G Suite domains, for example, other schools. This opens up some opportunities for trainers, for example. So me as a trainer, if I'm training people on Google Classroom, I don't need to now get them to join my own domain. I can just choose this option here, and then they can use their personal account in order to access my Google Classroom. Or they can use their own school account, but if they use their own school account, that means their administrator must select this last option. These are fantastic features, and I can see some real benefits for using these. I feel the best benefit for this would be for collaboration across schools where multiple schools can use the same classroom to do some learning. Other applications for this may be to set up classrooms for teachers in multiple schools so they can access resources across schools. So there are lots of opportunities here in order to use Google Classroom in a much more effective way. So now I've saved this. It can take up to 24 hours, but from my experience, it normally takes a few seconds or a few minutes to actually register the changes. So what I'm going to do now is just go over to a personal account. So this is my personal account. I'm going to go to Classroom, and then it's asking me if I haven't got anything there. It's asking me to join a class. So let's find out the code. So I have a classroom here that they can join. This is the code R1GMW4. So we're going to click on plus, and we're going to join a class R1GMW4, and then we're going to join the classroom. So in my personal account here, you can see it's my personal account at the top here. I'm now inside Google Classroom. Now if I go back to that class and refresh my students, I can now see my personal account has actually been added to this test classroom here. So as an administrator, you must make sure you get the settings correct in order to be able to let your users access other schools or other schools to access yours. Once that is done, you can start opening opportunities in order to collaborate using Google Classroom.